The white smoke billowed from the Sistine Chapel and the world held its breath. The moment had arrived. The Catholic Church had chosen a new leader. From the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, the words echoed across the square. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle of the Philippines was the new pope. He would be known as Pope Leo XIV. This was a moment of history. For the first time, an Asian had been elected to lead the Catholic Church. The world was watching as a new era began. On March 6, 2025, the Catholic Church turned a page. The election of Pope Leo XIV marked a significant shift in the Church's history. It was a recognition of the growing influence of the global South in Catholicism. For many, it was a sign of the change to come. The Church was stepping into a future that embraced new voices, new perspectives, and a renewed commitment to its mission. Tagle's election was not just a symbolic victory. It carried deep meaning for the Church's future. He inherited a faith, grappling with internal divisions and external challenges, but he also inherited something powerful: hope. Millions of Catholics saw in him a leader who could unite, heal, and bring positive change to the Church. His journey to the papacy was one of faith, service, and dedication to the people. Luis Antonio Tagle was born in Manila in 1957. His early life was humble. His parents instilled in him strong faith and deep compassion for others. He excelled in his studies and showed a keen interest in theology. He entered the seminary and quickly rose through the Church's ranks. In 1982, he was ordained as a priest. Over the years, he became a bishop, then the Archbishop of Manila. His reputation grew. He was known for his intelligence, his kindness, and his ability to connect with people from all walks of life. In 2012, Pope Benedict XVI appointed him as a cardinal. He later served as the prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of all Peoples. This role placed him at the heart of the Vatican, shaping the Church's mission around the world. Little did he know that this journey would eventually lead him to the highest office in the Catholic Church. The papal conclave is a secretive and solemn event. When a pope resigns or passes away, the College of Cardinals gathers to elect a successor. The decision is made in deep prayer and reflection. The conclave that elected Cardinal Tagle was one of the shortest in history. This suggested a strong consensus around his candidacy. The resignation of Pope Francis due to his declining health had left the Church at a crossroads. The cardinals knew they needed a leader who could guide the Church through turbulent times. As the white smoke rose from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel, the world waited in anticipation. The announcement of Tagle's election sent shockwaves across the globe. In the Philippines, the news was met with an explosion of joy. Church bells rang, people danced in the streets, and many shed tears of happiness. The predominantly Catholic nation saw this as a moment of great pride. One of their own had risen to the highest position in the Church. Tagle's election was especially significant for the poor and marginalized. Throughout his life, he had been a champion of the downtrodden. He spoke out against poverty, injustice, and social inequality. The people saw in him a pope who understood their struggles. They believed he would be a voice for the voiceless. Reactions to Pope Leo XIV's election extended far beyond the Philippines. Leaders from around the world congratulated the new pope. Many expressed hope that he would bring peace, dialogue, and unity. Religious leaders from different faiths also welcomed his election. They saw in him a figure who could promote interfaith cooperation. In Asia, his election was particularly meaningful. It was a sign of the Church's growing presence and influence in the region. Many hoped it would lead to greater understanding of Asian cultures and spiritual traditions within Catholicism. From the moment Pope Leo XIII stepped onto the balcony, his vision for the Church was clear. He spoke of unity, compassion, and a renewed focus on the gospel message. He emphasized that the Church must be outward-looking and inclusive. He wanted a Church that embraced dialogue and worked together to address the world's problems. Tagle believed in building bridges within the Church and beyond. He sought to heal divisions and bring people together. Social justice was at the core of his mission. He spoke passionately about addressing poverty, inequality, and environmental destruction. He called on Catholics to take action, to be a force for good in the world. His message resonated with many who longed for a church more engaged with modern challenges. Yet Pope Leo XIV faced immense challenges. The Catholic Church was still dealing with the fallout of past scandals. The sexual abuse crisis had shaken the faith of many believers. Financial difficulties continued to trouble the Vatican. In the I.O. West, declining church attendance raised concerns about the future of Catholicism. The global landscape presented its own set of difficulties. Conflicts, wars, and humanitarian crises were widespread. Climate change threatened the future of the planet, as Pope Tagle had to provide leadership and hope in a world facing uncertainty. His task was daunting, but he brought with him a unique set of skills. He was a gifted communicator, fluent in multiple languages. He was deeply knowledgeable in theology and modern issues. Most importantly, he had a pastor's heart, a deep love for the Church and its people. Pope Leo XIV's election marked a turning point for the Catholic Church. It was a time for healing, renewal, and change. His leadership held the promise of a more inclusive, compassionate, and engaged church. He represented a new chapter, one filled with hope and possibilities. The world watched as he took on the responsibility of guiding the Church into the future. Only time would tell how his papacy would unfold. But one thing was certain: the Catholic Church had entered a new era, an era filled with both challenges and opportunities. And at the center of it all was a humble, compassionate man from the Philippines, ready to lead with faith, wisdom, and courage.